there's a lot been talked about with air raid offense and my background and all that. You don't see it very often anymore. We had to kind of turn into that a little bit last year with our lack of depth at running back. With those guys were beat up, and we weren't very good at it. You could say, well, you lost Alton McCaskill. You lost a little bit of a mentality up front too. And so, it's why Iman Nagabi was hired, because of his background with Katy High School to McNeese State, ULM, and then obviously the turnaround at Tulane. And, with all due respect to Willie Fritz, who I think is an unbelievable football coach, I think Iman had a lot to do with that, because of the mentality that he brought with running the football and committing to it and coaching it the way that I've seen him coach it.
Joseph?
We'll just call him David, since I can't pronounce his name either. That transition sometime late in your career, sort of can go either way. What did you see from him in the spring that sort of lends that this guy can make that move and be out there?
Versatile, plays hard, has a motor that I haven't seen. There's a reason why I played 2,700 snaps at OU. So we're doing some different things with him. Caesar is another guy that kind of has that frame that can move around a little bit, is pretty good in space, but can come off the edge and rush. But we can also drop him, move him around a little bit, and both those guys are going to be a problem to deal with when it comes to identifying where they are, how they idea, whether they're dropping, whether they're blitzing, whether they're coming up off the edge. We all know that Coach Early is pretty good at coaching technique in the pass game. And both those guys were able to do some different things than just like line them up at D end and come off the edge. So they're versatile, they're good in space. They're both making each other better, and certainly glad that we got David. C's had a good spring too. That's one of our vets, one of our old guys, one of our leaders. Had a really good spring. Practice, went through 15 practices and played hard. So happy with both those guys right now.
Andy?
Dana, something that you've touched on throughout the course of the last few months is about obviously the big jump to the Big 12. It comes from the program as a whole, from marketing and all that standpoint. Is there anything that over the course of the next few weeks you might be talking with the admin about, potentially ideas to market games and stuff like that, or what kind of are the conversations with that?
I think there's enough on my plate for being a football coach.
Mm-hmm.
There's different departments that do different things. I've been instructed to kind of stay in my lane and coach football. That's why we have administrators, is to handle the other things that touch our football program when it comes to facilities, when it comes to academics, fundraising, marketing, games, selling tickets. I hear they're going good. I don't really have a whole lot to do with it. Obviously I'm always available to go out and promote the program and encourage season ticket sales, which have been going good. We all know what's coming to town, so it's going to be exciting, and I think it's in everybody's best interest for me to really focus in on what this roster looks like and how we coach them and how we get them ready to go. But with that said, I've said that there's a lot of work to do for where we're going and what we're about to get into. There's going to be a lot of work for me and staring at this sheet, trying to get the roster right, recruiting nonstop all year long. Our coaches are all about to go out on the road and do spring recruiting and stuff for 2024 and 2025. But then we got to come back periodically to host visits for 2023. I've never had to do that. So, there's a lot to do. It's exciting. We're all pumped and jacked and excited about the season, excited about UH and football and athletic department in general. And in the Big 12 conference, there's a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of people that touch that. That's just not me. I got 40-some people that are underneath me that I got to kind of instruct on how we make football better. I'm going to try to stay in my lane and do the best I can when it comes to that.
Coach, along those same kind of lines, any different knowing that the level of the competition there in the Big 12, you just coach the way you coach and we do the way we do things here?
Yeah, I think sometimes, you know, I do a good job and sometimes I don't. I mean, I guarantee you guys think that. So, you know, we all need to coach better. We all need to coach harder. We need to recruit harder. We need to get better players in here. We got to coach them hard, you know, because man, that schedule is challenging. It starts game one. You know, it's a couple of games prior to Big 12 that are going to be hard and challenging, and I'm well aware of that. So, you know, we need to focus on our team, and we need to focus on making this 2023 football team as good as we can. And every day counts. Today counts. You know, we're going to have a team meeting in here at 3 o'clock, and we're going to talk about program pride, because there's a lot of new guys that are in these seats and stuff that don't understand the history of our football program. What's our job to teach them? We're going to do that this afternoon. You know, and then we're going to go into position meetings and we're going to watch Friday night's game, you know, to try to improve. And tomorrow morning we're going to get together as a team and do some football stuff and some conditioning and just try to get better every day, you know. So every day counts, and we need to coach the best that we can every day, and we need to be coachable and absorb what we need to absorb to try to improve.
We'll have James and then one or two.
Yeah, Dana, just what do you see out of the tight end group in spring and sort of how that's shaping up, you know, having to replace a guy like Christian?
Yeah, Christian's love him, man. He gave everything to this place in the football program. And was very happy with what he did. You know, we got better there. You know, we certainly got better there. Matt Burns had a solid spring. You know, Matt's had some injury issues, but he got through 15 practices and was good, was solid. Improved. Eddie Henry flashed. He can run. He'll pop you. He's dense. He's up to about 250. So, you know, he looks good. Logan Compton got the same. Another guy that's been, you know, always had things going on, but he got a lot of reps. You know, Michael Laughlin has got 1,500 reps in the Big 12. So, you know, we just got to get him to September. You know, so we know what he's going to be able to bring, and so that room's shaping up to have more depth than it's had. You know, and we're certainly going to use them. You talk about running the ball and stuff. I mean, those guys are critical when it comes to scheming up runs, whether it's one of them or two of them, scheming it up and being able to come off the ball and get some movement. Corby does a great job with those guys. He's been a tight ends coach for a long time and does a really good job with those guys.
A couple more, James?
Yeah, just on last time you spoke to us, the new staff was just sort of, you know, the staff shake-up, just having a couple months to just bounce ideas off each other, work through spring, just how that's been.
It's been good. It's been really good. You know, offensively it hasn't changed a whole bunch. You know, I mean, I know what Iman was bringing to the table and what his run game background is what we want. And the pass game hasn't changed because me and Birch have been doing this for a long time together. You know, and so Birch sliding in there being the quarterback guy. So hired Trey Holtz, who I think's outstanding. You know, got a pretty you know, recognizable last name. You know, so he's coming in as the offensive analyst to help, you know, me and Birch with the pass game and quarterbacks and all that. He's got a wealth of knowledge. He's been a great hire. You know, Robert Beecham is my O-line analyst. He came with Iman from Tulane. So those guys speak the same language. So what they're talking, they understand, and what we're talking about, we understand. And then obviously we know the other full-time guys with, you know, Nikhil and Jenks and Corby, those guys. The staff is solid, and how we're communicating is solid, and I'm very happy with that. And, you know, then defensively, it's the same. You know, Doug's he's a year better, man, and we got everybody else coming back, and so we got a lot of continuity and a lot of familiarity with coaches and players on that side. So, you know, I think this staff is in great shape to, you know, go into what we know is going to be challenging.
One more.
You know, who's going to be the guy? I don't know. I doubt there is going to be a guy in that room. I mean, that room is shaping up to be one of the more talented rooms that I've ever coached. And I've coached a lot of guys that have been really productive and played for a long time. You know, the current starters, Matt Golden looks great. You know, looks like a guy that could, like, be the next one if there was like a 1-1 you know, but Joseph Manjack had a great spring. You know, he's a force. Sam Brown had a great spring. Peyton Sawyer had a really good spring. And then you got new guys like Boogie Johnson. He flashed, and you're like, wow, he can change the game type stuff. Josh Cobb's big, gonna get better and better. Jacoby and CJ Nelson, just young guys that every rep counts, you know, and so just keep plugging along. And then we all know what we're adding to that room too. You know, you're adding 3 high school guys, 2 of which are 2 of the highest rated guys that we've ever recruited around here into that room for competition. So it's fun. It's turning into a fun group to coach, you know, and those guys are going to have to work hard and compete. You know, they're going to have to work hard and compete not only for being a starter, but for playing time in general and for productivity as well.
Amy?
Dana, can you talk?